Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to the channel. So, it's pretty rare in these collective readings that I start by channeling into a very specific romantic energy, but I feel that really just speaks to the powerful nature of the particular person who I sense at this higher self level trying to get through with a message today. And specifically, I'm hearing the word realizations. So, this to me is feeling like a masculine energy who is having realizations about their connection with a divine feminine. So that leads me to believe that most of you who resonate with this reading will identify more so with the divine feminine, although, of course, always take those labels, divine masculine and divine feminine, how they resonate for you personally. We all do have a balance of both energies within us. And so these messages could apply to your internal divine masculine or divine feminine, or to some external person that you are relating with. Of course, as well, I do channel many different people, situations, and connections throughout these readings. So always only take the messages that resonate with you in a personal and intuitive way. And it's so funny because I felt like pulling a card from the Starseed Oracle deck, and this really surprised me because, in the context of a love reading, I kind of wondered what this deck could possibly bring to the conversation. It's typically centered more so around personal mission, personal messages for starseeds and light workers. I'm sure many of you identify with one or both of those labels, but I think it's so interesting that the card to come out here was the double mission card. Whenever I see this card, I often take it to be speaking to the soul contract that two souls have together. And for some reason, I'm hearing that one has forgotten. So, wow, I'm getting chills all over. There are so many messages coming through here. So, let's go ahead and unravel some of this. But what I'm getting is that for who I'm speaking to, you and this masculine have some kind of a double mission here on earth. And what I mean by this is that spiritually speaking, your souls, your higher selves, are very much in collaboration in this lifetime, working together, balancing some kind of planetary energy or dynamic together. But I'm hearing the word unconsciously. So for one or both of you, this so-called soul mission, this soul collaboration, may have been dominantly unconscious. And my guides actually gave me a download earlier today that they really wanted me to share. So this feels like the time to share it. I'm not sure who this message is for, but my guides wanted me to share that very often you will have a soul mission that you are completing with another soul, even when you have a very different looking or even non existent physical 3D relationship with that particular person. Typically, in these cases, one person, one soul embodied here physically, remembers the terms of this soul contract more consciously, whereas the other tends to be a bit more unconscious of this collaboration. They might have an awareness that there's a kind of unique bond between the two of you, but most likely they won't be as consciously aware of what's going on. And this can lead to a lot of confusion because when we think about being in union with a person, being human, we typically immediately flip to the idea of a very traditional 3D marriage commitment, what we think of as a 3D relationship with that person. And of course, I am by no means excluding that kind of physical relationship because that could be in the terms of your soul contract as well. And only you can know what is meant for you, what timeline you desire to align with. You do get a lot of optionality. You are the conscious creator of your life after all. However, what I am saying is that very often we can get into these dynamics as highly evolved souls, as you are listening here to this reading. We can get into dynamics where we are working in collaboration with another soul who is very unconscious of that higher self collaboration or of that connection. And therefore, even though our souls can very much be in balance and harmony, working together at this higher level, our physical human selves can be in forms of what we might label from a human perspective separation, although that word is such a far cry from what's really going on at a spiritual level that I hesitate to even use it, but very often that is what we will call a separation. So I am picking up that the reason much of this is coming up is because I am speaking to a specific group of divine feminines who are in an energetic or sometimes what we call a 5D union with someone that they are very closely soul bonded with. So either a high level soulmate, or in some cases, this could be a twin flame, which simply means a soul that shares your exact core soul frequency, whereas a soulmate will be very close to that frequency. So I feel that there is a group of divine feminines here who are literally in what we would call a 5D union with a counterpart soul here, but in a situation where that union looks very non-traditional in the physical 3D world and is very much not understood or misinterpreted by people around them for whoever I'm speaking to. So when I talk about 5D union, and I had no idea that this conversation was going to go here, but I trust that these messages will reach whoever has manifested them out of the reading today. I do feel some group of divine feminines manifesting these messages very strongly. So this 5D union is what occurs when you are consciously on this path of unconditional love, meaning you have chosen unconditional love as the frequency that's really going to be a theme for your life and is really going to dominate and define your life generally here on this earth. So you are someone who, from a young age, has most likely always been extremely empathic, possibly even unconsciously empathic at times. Now, this is a bit of a side note, but another download that my guides were bringing through earlier is that many of you who are tuned into this channel were unconscious empaths as either a child or a teenager. And because of this, you may have experienced many negative physical side effects, even mental side effects of being so empathic. I'm hearing the word addiction, so someone here could have even struggled with addiction, whether that's to substances or emotional addictions or just addictions to distractions, which of course we all have to some degree or have worked through. But I feel as though someone listening here, it's like you've been kind of thrown out into the waters of this human experience as this beautifully sensitive, highly empathic soul surrounded by extremely heavy and dense frequencies and not understanding from a young age why you were so affected by all of these energies. So I don't know why I was getting this specifically, but For someone, this could have looked like having stomach aches from a young age or other physically manifested symptoms that came from the energies that you were absorbing unconsciously as an empath, and that you really didn't have the tools or the knowledge at the time to understand and to process. I'm also getting that you've had to live your life in a very unique way, that I'm hearing structure. You've had to structure your life in unique ways because of your empathy that many people don't understand. So, for example, you may be someone who needs a lot of time and space alone. You may be someone who gets very emotional by things or experiences that others may consider to be very slight or not really emotional experiences at all. And of course, when I spoke on the physical symptoms you may have had as a child or even now, of course, we can process emotions at all levels of our being. We process energies at all levels of our being, including the physical body. But of course, I am not a medical professional, so I always recommend exploring any medical symptoms or sensations with a doctor. But I do feel that many of you listening have, in a sense, struggled from a young age with, I'm hearing, with your profound gifts, like you were too gifted for this world. And I say that in the most genuine way. Those aren't just words I'm saying to flatter you. What I mean by that is that you have very high level spiritual gifts, and it has been a journey for you to learn how to properly handle yourself, to structure your life around these gifts and abilities. For some reason, I'm thinking of someone who is a performer or a celebrity, and they have a very rigid routine for themselves in their life, and they have certain foods they need to eat and certain activities they need to do. And people might see that as eccentric, and yet they are also admired by many people and creating these beautiful works of art. And that's what you're doing in your life, even if you don't consider yourself to be a performer or to be in the public eye. You have these routines and structures and rituals in place in your life that others might consider eccentric, but they are essential to your creative process. Whether it's a life that you're creating, a family, a job, a business, an empire, whatever it is you are building or creating, you are intuitively now navigating yourself, and those structures around your time, your energy, the activities you participate in or refrain from, all of that is very unique to your soul's fingerprint, in a sense, your soul's DNA, and what you uniquely need to serve a very specific and very important mission here on Earth. Now, wow, what a huge message to come through. And I thought we were starting off with the love and relationship element. So we haven't even really gotten into the meat of this reading, which is this person that I sense you connected with in all of that. In this so-called 5D union, what I mean by that is you are very spiritually and esoterically connected to this person. You may sense their presence throughout the day. You might telepathically feel this almost open bond with them. And again, many times they aren't aware of that. It's more of a telepathy between hearts or between souls. And the other might be unconscious of it, although it's usually received at some level, even if it's more so subconscious. So be aware of that as well, that even if this person seems unresponsive or unconscious to the connection, they are receiving it at some level. So you are on this so-called double mission where you are collaborating with at least one other soul. Now, I will say for many of you, it's almost as though you have an anchor connection. So one very strong spiritual connection. This doesn't have to be romantic. This could be platonic in nature. This could be a family member. This could be a business partnership, a collaboration, a really good friend. But I feel as though you have one very strong anchor connection that is this so-called double mission. This is you and that person working together in this higher self collaboration. And my guides are saying, as you've done for many, many lifetimes. The word Leo is coming out. That could be in someone's name. That also could be someone's birth sign or sun, moon, or rising sign. Anyway, so beyond this one dominant anchor connection, I'm picking up that you have a lot of supportive connections as well. Some of these may be conscious to you, but I'm getting that many of these supportive soulmates have not yet entered your life. And I'm picking up this excitement from your spirit guides because it's almost like they're excited to introduce you to these very supportive soul friends, soulmates, which I'm sensing will mostly be platonic in nature. Although, if you are open to receiving new romantic connection in your life, some of these soulmates could be potentially romantic as well. It all depends on your unique intentions, but I'm sensing a lot of soul support coming in here that you aren't even fully consciously aware of yet, although you may be sensing that support coming in at this deeper subconscious level. Now, I will say some of these supportive soulmates may be conscious to you, so you may have a very small circle of friends, a few people in your life that you really trust and rely upon. I do feel that for whoever I'm speaking to, you tend to keep a very small inner circle, so you don't tend to have many people in your life at one time who get to know the inner workings of your heart and your world. And your guides want you to know that that's actually not accidental. That is very much by design. You designed your life as a soul so that you would have this one dominant anchor connection, so to speak. And at the same time, you would call in these supportive soulmates. But I do sense again that you have many, many soulmates that desire to support you and meet you at that unconscious level. I get they're excited to meet you, and that whenever you're ready to call in that support, whenever you're ready to open yourself to allow more people into your inner circle, those soulmates will be there available for you. There is an abundance of connection that is really soul fulfilling as soon as you are open and ready for it, which of course only you can know, because for some of you listening, you may have such a hyper specific soul mission that keeps you very active and busy in the physical realm, and you may not be desiring to allow in a lot more at the moment as far as social support or connections. You may be kind of focused on whatever your personal mission is. And if that is the case, that is perfectly fine as well. But if you are feeling ready to allow in more soul support, again, I do sense that is available to you. There are many souls I'm hearing hidden behind the scenes, like maybe not fully visible, but kind of waiting in the wings, as we say, to come into your life and connect with you. I don't know why I felt the need to share that side message. Someone's spirit guides are so talkative today because, as you can tell, there are many different excitable downloads coming through this reading. I love readings like this that kind of just flow and jump around to different points from different guides. So do let me know in the comments if anything here is connecting with you. Of course, this is all a co-manifestation effort, so every message here is not my own creation. It is co-manifested by both myself and all of you listening here as well. So with the Nine of Pentacles and the Judgment card, so first of all, I see you very much in this Nine of Pentacles card. You are, well, I'm getting a wave of chills. So you, Divine Feminine, are this Nine of Pentacles. That masculine we were talking about earlier is in the Judgment card. meaning that they are going through an awakening. And I'm hearing many of you were going through this wave of awakenings around 2020, or 2020 could have been a year that really altered your mind, your state of consciousness, where you begin to open to more spiritual concepts and ideas than ever before. So that could be relevant for someone listening, but I'm picking up that it's almost like this other soul, this masculine, is operating on, I don't want to call it a delay, but that's almost how it feels. Like they seem to be lagging behind just a few years, or like a certain period of time from where you are spiritually speaking. I do get that for some of them, this lagging behind may have occurred because for some of these masculines, they've actually gone through a lot of grief or a lot of heaviness in their life that I'm just hearing there were things they needed to deal with before they could also, on top of that, process this very intense spiritual awakening. Whereas you, Divine Feminine, I feel that you were able to have the emotional capacity for whatever reason, whether it was just your nature or the circumstances of your life, you had the emotional capacity to handle both day to day life, but also going through a very intense introspective process and spiritual awakening. And the masculine connected to you here seems to be going through that same process, but again, it's just delayed. And I keep wanting to say by a few years, so that might be a literal time frame of this quote unquote delay for some of you. But I do see that whereas you, Divine Feminine, are in this space of thriving, independence, very much in an energy of abundance. I'm hearing you've come into spiritual and emotional maturity through a deep journey that you've taken within yourself. And you're really beginning to see your hard work showing evidence of paying off, whether that's something you've invested in time wise, energy wise in your life, whether it's a relationship, a connection, a business, a financial endeavor. If you aren't yet seeing this pay off, I do see that you're going to see this more and more moving into the future. Now, the masculine here is in the judgment card energy. So whereas you are very much in this Nine of Pentacles, this state of emotional independence, thriving, being guided by your intuition, the masculine here seems to be going through a deep process of self evaluation that was almost forced upon them, meaning they feel a little overwhelmed by it. It's very divinely planned and very necessary for their soul's next level of spiritual growth, which is going to be much more conscious moving forward. But from their human perspective, it almost feels like this is something unwanted or something they've kind of been forced to undergo. Now, I am seeing this Four of Swords energy, so I will say that if you are a divine feminine who is dominantly in that Nine of Pentacles, where you are feeling very successful, independent, thriving within yourself, but if lately, especially around the full moon, you felt some stresses or anxieties coming up, I am getting that this is just a bit of a mental or energetic overload, and your guides may be reminding you to really take some time for yourself, to take the rest that you need to release any of the fears that might be coming up for you or the anxieties coming up for you. I'm also getting that some of this, even if it feels personal, could actually be empathically absorbed anxious frequencies from the collective consciousness. So I am going to be pulling some more cards. Yeah, we have appreciation. I'm hearing you anchor the light by keeping yourself anchored. So I'm hearing someone's guide say, don't fall into the trap of trying to reach outside of yourself to help another or to save the world or to fix what you perceive to be the problems of the world, because your true mission is you. You are the light. You are the anchor. You are the mission. When you keep yourself centered, anchored, grounded in love, beginning, of course, with that self-love represented by the appreciation card coming up here, when you keep yourself in balance with the Magician and the Mirror here, you are actually holding space for the divine masculine to heal. And when I say the divine masculine, I'm speaking at several different levels because I'm speaking, first of all, about the divine masculine energy within yourself, that part of you that you are learning to allow to support you from within, that part of you that may have felt betrayed or abandoned in the past and therefore learned to betray or abandon yourself or your own needs. Now you are showing up for yourself. Now you are no longer abandoning yourself, and you are supporting your dreams, your ideas, your goals with actions, with nourishment, with respect, self respect. And that is healing your internal divine masculine energy, which is keeping you in balance. The next level is this is emanating a powerful signal to the masculine energies in your life. And I'm not just talking romantically. This could be brothers, this could be friends, this could be even a father figure in your life, a grandfather, but you are holding space for these masculine energies to heal as well. And even down your ancestral line, even past ancestors, you are healing generational traumas around that wounded divine masculine energy, but at a much more bird's eye level perspective. You are also holding space for the wounded collective divine masculine to heal. And the wounded collective divine masculine is the source of so much conflict and pain and hurt that happens around the world. And you, by keeping yourself anchored, grounded, balanced, and focusing on your own self love and self support, this is actually emanating a powerful signal that is quite literally impacting the collective frequency as well. That is what I mean when I say you are the mission, your energy is the gift. And someone's guides just really wanted me to re emphasize that in a powerful way in this reading. I also see with the action card this message of continuing to confidently move forward in support of yourself, especially if you felt some of that mental overwhelm or overload at this time, or if you felt some anxieties about this path you're on, about certain things coming up for you. I'm yearning to trust the process, especially to trust that the actions that you are being inspired to intuitively, because action is sitting on the third eye chakra, the seat of the intuition. But as you move forward in inspired action, and of course, give yourself the rest when you need it with rest and rejuvenation upright, you are going to be stepping into a truly bright and beautiful new phase of your life, a new timeline that is aligning itself around you and ahead of you with the Sun card here coming out. So I am going to be pulling a final Rumi Oracle card for this YouTube reading, but wow, lots of intense, highly spiritual, and for many of you, I'm hoping highly personal messages coming through from your guides. Now, I do want to go so much deeper, specifically into this masculine energy that keeps coming up here, that might be that dominant anchor connection we were referencing earlier for you. So we're going to get into more details on this connection that might help you identify it in your life, as well as what realizations this masculine is having. We're bringing that full circle because that came up at the beginning of the reading. I will also be channeling any other energies that may be connected or attached to your aura at this time. These could be platonic, romantic, or spiritual energies. And of course, we will be channeling any other details and pieces of information that are manifested through that extended reading. So if you do feel guided to the extended version of this reading, the link to join our beautiful Patreon Soul Tribe, where you get access to all of the extended readings, is in the pinned comment and description box underneath this video. For now, the final Rumi Oracle card to close this reading is the right choice. So let's just read a little bit from the guidebook here. Stay close to those who know the heart. Choose the shade of a tree that is in constant bloom. Don't meander aimlessly among the herb sellers and potion vendors. Go directly to the shop that sells nothing but sweets. Don't sit by every boiling pot to have your plate filled. Not every boiling pot is cooking what you want. Not every sugar cane is filled with sugar. Not every down has an up. Not every eye has vision. Not every sea contains pearls. Rumi. On the path of love, there is not so much wrong and right in the moral sense, so much as there is what is right or wrong for you. The mind cannot help so much here. Only the heart can speak such truths. The mind may reject it, recoil, analyze, and find all the reasons why the simple truth, the right choice of the heart, cannot possibly work, and can only lead to pain. That is what the mind does rather well, actually. But it doesn't mean the right choice, the heart choice, becomes incorrect. It means rather that the heart has outsmarted the mind, and the mind will need to bow to the heart, even without understanding its sometimes impenetrable mysteries. So, can you give up what you have planned, believed, or decided? Let the heart wisdom that silently and constantly broadcasts its pure and true intention into the fertile womb of the universe lead the way instead. It will lead you along the right path. Wow, so what a beautiful place to close the reading. Thank you, Rumi, for that final message, and a huge thank you to each and every one of you here listening, sharing your powerful personal frequency with the channel. If you do feel a resonance with my energy, I invite you to subscribe, join our beautiful community of like-minded, conscious, creative beings here on YouTube. You can also follow me on Instagram at Magnetize Yourself. Otherwise, I am sending you all so much love today. Of course, the link to the extended version of this reading, where we will be going deeper into all the messages, is in the pinned comment and description box under this video if you would like to join me there next. I hope you have a beautiful remainder of your week, and I will connect with you here again in Friday's reading.